Hello, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. I'm Skylar Dama, and today we're going to be talking about Warmind Cell builds for the next season of Destiny 2. With approximately 5 weeks of Season of the Worthy remaining, and figuring that with this season's artifact leaving, as well as all the artifact mods that are in it, such as Tyrant Surge, if I'd like to keep using Warmind Cell builds, I'm going to have to figure out new builds to work towards that I can use within the next season. Without Tyrant Surge, the only way for us to reliably make Warmind Cells is with Wrath of Rasputin. Kills with 7th Seraph weapons have a chance to spawn Warmind Cells. Copies of this mod do not stack. Solar Splash Damage Final Blows have a chance to create Warmind Cells. Today's build, we're going to be looking at Warlock. It's going to be centered around the exotic Sunbracers, which comes with the intrinsic perk Helium Spirals. Increases the duration of solar grenades. Solar melee kills grant unlimited solar grenade energy for a brief time. So the way we're going to approach most engagements is we're going to consume our grenade and activate Heat Rises, which extends glide time and improves in-air accuracy. Once we've done this, we will use the Celestial Fire melee ability, sends out a spiral of 3 explosive solar energy blasts. And if we successfully nab a kill with this melee, it will proc the Sunbracer's ability, allowing us to endlessly throw solar grenades for around 4 seconds, give or take. Getting kills while doing this will proc the Winged Sun Attunement of Sky perk on the top tree downblade. Firing weapons, send Celestial Fire, and throw grenades while gliding. Airborne Final Blows extends the effects of Heat Rises and grants melee energy. Once you have Heat Rises activated and you get kills while using it, it allows you to stay in the air longer and it will help you recharge your melee. Doing this will allow us to do a sort of endless cascade of chaining between our solar grenades and our Celestial Fire melee. A significant bonus to this, the reason that we are putting this loadout together, is that getting kills with these solar grenades does count as a chance of activating your Wrath of Rasputin mod. This will allow you an opportunity to create Warmind Cells with your endless solar grenades, thus giving you tons and tons and tons of chances of creating Warmind Cells. Now, why do we want to create Warmind Cells so badly? There are numerous benefits to Warmind Cells. Obviously, they all come inherently with the benefit that it gives you an explosive that you can use to damage multiple enemies on screen at once. The explosive radius on these is quite powerful, and you can even use Global Reach if you'd like to extend its reach even further. However, for these builds, we will not be using Global Reach. That is totally up to you. Some perks we will be taking advantage of, however, are Rage of the Warmind. Adds additional solar damage to the explosions of Warmind Cells you destroy. The benefit of using this is that your Warmind Cell explosive kills have a chance to spawn more Warmind Cells. The solar damage added to your Warmind Cell explosion counts as a solar splash damage final blow, thus allowing you to destroy multiple enemies with your Warmind Cell and potentially spawn a secondary Warmind Cell from the first one without even having to use other abilities. Some other perks that we'll be using with this loadout are Warminds Protection, a mod that you might be familiar with if you checked out the How to Farm Laurels with Warmind Cells video. If you have not checked that video out, I will put a link for it in the description. Warminds Protection, you take reduced damage from enemies that are near Warmind Cells. So as you're scattering about these solar grenades all across the map, once you have your helium spirals activated, inevitably you'll end up creating multiple Warmind Cells in different locations where either you can't see them and can't destroy them, or you simply don't care to bother with destroying them because there aren't enough enemies nearby. Whatever the case might be, you just really want to keep throwing your grenades and have fun. The benefit of having Warmind's Protection on is that each of these cells will give a sort of debuff to all the enemies around it, where their weapons will do less damage to you, thus allowing you to continue floating through the air and throwing your grenades and shooting and doing whatever else you'd like to do while taking less damage. And as a cherry on top, we will be using the Fireteam Medic mod. Destroying a Warmind Cell creates a burst of healing for you and allies near you. A very powerful mod that will allow you to not only destroy a Warmind Cell and potentially kill enemies near you, but will also allow you to heal yourself and your allies in a pinch. This can be incredibly useful in situations where your health is low, perhaps you've been flying around too long and you've been getting hurt, or perhaps you just want a quick way to heal. There are multiple weapons that we can use to round out this build. As a default for this build, I went with the Monte Carlo Exotic Auto Rifle. Monte Carlo comes with 2 perks. The Monte Carlo method, dealing damage with this weapon, reduces your melee cooldown and grants a chance to fully charge your melee ability with each kill, and Markov Chain. This weapon gains increased damage from melee kills and kills with this weapon. Melee kills grant ammo for this weapon. Essentially, Monte Carlo comes with its own version of Swashbuckler. Stacks up to 5 times, increases per normal kill or melee kill, which puts it up to ×5 right away, and your melee kills will reload this weapon completely, similar to Grave Robber. The Monte Carlo method allows you to damage enemies and recharge your melee while doing so, and kills have a chance to fully recharge it. This will allow you to ensure that you're able to consistently have your melee ability, should you ever waste it and not get a kill with it, and that you'll be able to keep Sunbracers flowing. In our energy slot, here we have a Martyrs Retribution, loaded with auto-loading holster and Demolitionist, where kills with this weapon generate grenade energy. Activating your grenade ability reloads this weapon from reserves. Between these 2 weapons, you should be able to keep your grenade and melees up at all times. And then in our heavy slot, we have an Outrageous Fortune, which is easily replaceable as long as you're using any sort of solar, explosive heavy weapon, whether it be a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher. Should you be doing different content, as we saw here in this Gambit Prime gameplay, I decided that the Monte Carlo was a bit overkill, and the same for the Martyrs Retribution, and I wanted some weapons that would better deal with yellow bar enemies or bosses, or potentially even invading guardians or guardians that I'm invading against. Instead, I decided to use Xenophage, along with a 7th Seraph shotgun, as well as a mountaintop in my kinetic slot. Obviously, these weapons are replaceable, and ultimately you can use whatever you want in any of these slots. The important thing is to have at least one other weapon that can create solar splash damage final blows in order to maximize the amount of Warmind Cells that you can create. Recommended perks for this build would be weapons with Swashbuckler, weapons with Demolitionist, and potentially weapons with 1-2 punch as well. You can always try this build out with Middle Tree. However, I strongly recommend Top Tree Dawnblade. It has the most synergy with this build. That's going to do it from me today. If you'd like to hear more from me about this build, or perhaps you'd like to see more builds on the channel, please feel free to comment down below. As always, make sure you smash like and subscribe. This week we intend to do as many videos as we can in relation to preparing for the next season of Destiny 2. I want to make sure you guys have as much time as possible to work on these things, grind out whatever you need to get in order to put these builds together so that you feel prepared for the next season of Destiny 2 without that last 1 or 2 weeks grind where it feels like you really have to cram everything in all of a sudden. But that's going to be it from me. Peace.
I think I still shot too early anyway, but... my health.
Vader's gone. Get him next time. To lose all at once. Good work. 10 seconds. That's 2. up. Go take them out.
I've got plenty to invade with you.
Rebels. You just robbed that guardian blind. Two down. 10 seconds. One more in the grave. Your ally neutralized the invader. Welcome back.
Hell yes. You can do anything. Okay, so we had the most hostiles defeated. We had the most guardians defeated. We had the most primeval damage. That's pretty great.